Hey, this is Kehinde Fawumi. You're listening to the Unleash Your Genius podcast. But to give you even a clearer structure of how I shape my goals or how I make them happen. Because remember, after you've defined that goal, you want to figure out what you need to do to earn that amount. And that's this structure is going to help you. All right. I've talked about you that you need a long-term goal. In the next 5 years, what is it? In the next 10 years, what it is? I have up to 20 or 30 years or so. But I work on a space of 6 months to 1 year because that's then my focus because everything links up. So what you want to do is define what that long-term goal is. For example, earn, let's take an example, 5 million in the next 5 years. That's a long-term goal. And now you want to define what the medium-term goal is, and you make it more tangible. Is it that you want to have a specific amount of real estate that earns me, 1 million each in a year, that kind of a thing. So you want to be clear about what you want to own that would bring you the money that you need. Now, don't care about how possible that is, because if you think from where you are to it makes it more difficult, it makes it more unrealistic. But think backward from what that goal is, right? So define what the medium-term goals are and make them more tangible, and also break down those medium-term goals into shorter term goals. So if you are looking for 5 real estate assets, then you can think about getting one in the next 3 months. And that's what I define as 1 quarter here. That's 3 months to say that, okay, I can get one, because then if I want 4 at the end of the year, I need one at each quarter, for example. So break it down. And that's what's important for you. So that's how you think about your goal. Because if you have the goal and you fold your arms, nothing would happen. Pray, declare to yourself from now to tomorrow, make affirmations from now to tomorrow. At the end of the day, these things will push you to taking actions, but you have to be ready to take the actions, because you will have some setbacks. It happens, there would always be things that do not want you to push forward. Now, the level at which you believe your dream is what is going to push you through with that. So what I wanted to help you with now is a couple of tools that you can use to actually track this. And it's a no-brainer to say that from your short-term goals, you want to define clear tasks that you can do hourly, daily, or you can achieve within a week. All right. The first one is the native Post-its. Have a board in your house or something, have a Post-it or have some kind of sticky notes that you can just put somewhere. And this helps you to keep track, to see what you have in your mind to achieve. Second thing you can use is a Google Task. And the third thing is use your calendar. People don't even know how to use a calendar. And I struggle with that a lot. When I try to get people to a meeting or something like that, I realize that they don't have a calendar, or they're not actively using their calendar. You have to have an organized life. And the first step to organizing your life is having a calendar. Imagine me, for example, when I have a family, having to, take care of my near 7 months old baby. But I'm also running a master's program, executive master's in business administration. And I have a full-time job as a manager or management consultant where I work with leaders, leadership teams of different companies. And of course, there's that part. And then we're running, your Unleash Your Genius, and, giving all this immense value and having to prepare all those, information and slides and studying and all that. And I have my portfolios. I have real estate to manage. And there's Liberty Experience, a FAO, that is a startup, nonprofit startup that we're running here in Germany. And I also have an IT firm, which is more like a social enterprise in Nigeria that I'm also leading, and I have a team for that. And I have also a team and I can go on and on and on and on like that, because I'm also mentoring lots of people at work. I'm mentoring people privately. I'm coaching a lot of people. I have, speaking engagements back and forth. If you see my calendar, all these things coming all together. And the question I get often is that, how do you manage? How do you get all these things done? For those of you that do not know, I also very active in the church community. I lead a lot of people, pastor people, and do all these kind of things, which is quite a lot of work as well, because people depend on you for decisions, for spiritual life, and all these kind of things. And there's that. And I manage also kind of Fawumi.com, we get response to people, and the social media activity. Brother, please help me. My daughter is doing this and those sort of things. I get that on a daily basis, by the way. And so many things. I want to keep up with friends, at least enjoy your life. And by the way, actually keep up with some Netflix series as well, because you just love movies, right? And the question is, how do you manage all these things, and the question is organization. Just organize your life. I mean, and of course, outsource the things that can be outsourced, and focus on high value tasks, and set goals and be clear on what you need to do by when. But just to give you advantages of how you can scale yourself, how you can become way more valuable, how you can become way more indispensable. At the end of the day, being rich is basically becoming more valuable, right? So let's get back to track. Short term, the same tools, but the replacement of the Google Tasks to Trello. It's up to you in the end, but I tend to manage, if anything is more than a week to get done, I move them to Trello instead of keeping them in my Google Tasks. And I'll show you why in a moment. For medium term, you see calendar popping up all along, especially for your short term and medium term goals. If you want to achieve a thing by a specific date, put it on your calendar that date and set a reminder for 1 week before that. Please remind me when it's near this time that this is what I want to achieve by the end of August, for example. Put it there. It's like a milestone for you to say that it has to be on my calendar. Do this, pass this exam, earn this amount, buy that property, buy that asset, all these kind of things. Make it there, put it there on your calendar, let it be there. Okay, long term, don't lose sight of your goal. If you can keep sight of your goal, you can shove off a lot of wastes. Many of us produce waste or waste time on unnecessary things. I mean, for example, would you rather spend 2 hours just scrolling through social media, looking at pictures, looking at, funny videos or all that? Or would you spend that 2 hours creating a very nice content and recording, even if it's just a 2 minutes, very inspirational or touching video, something that you learned recently, and share with more people? What is more valuable then? Of course, the sharing creates a lot of value for more people. And that's how to shift, yourself from being just a consumer to being a producer. Many people have never produced anything valuable for others. And you want to be valuable, you have to think about, how can I change my life to being a blessing to other people and to being a producer rather than a consumer. Don't live a consumptive life, always taking and never giving back. And that's important.